Da-da-da. Okay, we are live as live can get on the world famous Jiggy Jaguar radio broadcast, and we have got our good, close personal, longtime friend, the man about town IQ al-Rassooli is with us. It is our Thursday excursion, and IQ, there is a lot going on. There is all sorts of things happening. One of the things that you wanted to talk about at the top of the show here is the European leaders and all the different people trying to get Trump
Right.
to do all sorts of stuff.
Okay. This is really important because it's it's subverting Trump's work. The
Yeah.
European Commission president, a woman, of course, unfortunately, Ursula. Well, I
Hey,
don't.
I
You
say that
should know.
all the time. Of course,
Yeah,
it's a
I
woman.
don't miss my words. Ursula von der Leyen or Leyen just pulled one of the most audacious political stunts in recent memory. While touring military facilities across Eastern Europe, literally rattling sabers on Russia's border, von der Leyen claimed that Trump had given Europe the green light for their most reckless plan yet, boots on the ground. Not once did Trump ever say he would put boots on the ground, ever. But she said that. She tried to compromise him. But fortunately, the foreign minister of Germany contradicted her completely and destroyed her argument. But the point is this: she is the European Commission president, not as if she's not a nobody. And yet, she was allowed to talk the way that she was talking. It's absolutely unacceptable. And I think Trump will give her a beat down in a minute or two when he has time. At the moment, he has other things on his plate. The Democrats going crazier and crazier. You know what? I mean, every time I think they are insane, they are more insane than the previous one. It's unbelievable. It is literally unbelievable. Here you have a party of so-called American leaders who would rather support illegals, criminals, murderers, rapists than save Americans for only one reason. They are opposing Trump. That's it. That's the only reason. They have
That seems
absolutely no
that
other
seems to
solution.
be that seems to be the
No,
only
why do you
thing
think?
that they have.
Why do you use the word seem? It is not seem. It is a fact. Not seem. It's not. Look at Spitzer. Look at the black governor or mayor of Michigan. I mean, they're completely out of their mind. People are being murdered on a daily basis in mass numbers, and they say we don't want help. This is, it's unbelievable. I think one of the governors, Louisiana or something, which is a red state, has just contacted Trump and said, we welcome if you bring your own troops now to Louisiana. So I think Trump will do that. He will prove to the Democrats how false they are by sending troops not to a Democrat place, but to a Republican place and reduce crime to prove a point. I think will be the wisest move, literally. Let them stew in their own blood.
So something else that is at the top of the Drudge Report, which this is a slippery slope.
But
But apparently, which this is that apparently the federal government, that's never a good sign. The DOJ is considering banning trans people from buying guns.
correct, I agree with them, 100%.
Now, here's the thing that I worry about
Go
because
on,
we all know what's going to happen next.
go on.
If we can ban trans people from buying weapons, we can start banning all sorts of other people from buying guns.
Correct, but look at the difference. The trans ones are literally the ones who are
Yes.
massacring people. At the moment, every single mass shooting was by a trans.
Well, yeah.
You can't deny it. I mean, you can't deny reality. This is a fact. So it is very important because these people are not normal. You have a man in a woman's body or a woman in a man's body. They are dysfunctional. They hate their life and they hate everybody else. And they are a threat to humanity. They are a threat to their neighbors, their families, and everybody else. They are a threat. There is no question. Because they're not normal. It's not a sickness. It's a mental illness. And that's dangerous. So
Yeah.
I agree with you. You can expand it from here to it, but governments will always expand. That's their role, is to control. But in this case, I agree with them. You have a checkup, and if the person is one of them, yes, don't give them guns. Why should they have guns?
Well, see, I've always wondered why do they need guns anyway? But you know that that is you know that's the thing that I worry about is that if you're going to start banning people from having, you're going to start banning certain people from having guns.
Yes, but they're not just certain people. A felon is not allowed to have a gun. A criminal is not allowed to have a gun. You have a background check, and he is a felon, he's a criminal, he's not allowed to have a gun. So, I mean, why is that difficult? It's not difficult. And especially when what's happening now, mass shootings by women or men who embody which are not belonging to them. So you have a human mind imprisoned in a body that it doesn't want.
Yeah.
Well, it's dangerous. It's a time bomb. Next, you have another one.
Next, you have another one. We're just tearing through these today. We have got oh, this is something that I saw yesterday that is very interesting. Um, there's a whole bunch of these women that supposedly don't exist according to the federal government. They don't exist. But a whole bunch of the chicks that were involved, that's going to get me in trouble. That'll put me on the yellow list again. There's a bunch of these chicks that are going to just release their own Epstein list. And when I saw that the other day, I thought, I hope these chicks have hired 24-hour-a-day security.
I agree with you. Not only security, lawyers.
Yeah.
Because the minute you name somebody, you have to prove it. And if you can't prove it, there's defamation. And then you have millions of dollars to take care of.
Yeah.
It's dangerous. But then they have the right to do what they want, but they have to do it right. It's got to be done legally.
So I saw that and I thought, the issue that I have with, well, it's not really the issue that I have. I know that everybody and their brother wants to see this Epstein list, which we all know who's on the list. We Oprah and Obama and Bono from U2 and all these people. Unfortunately, the Clintons are on there and Trump's on there. The whole crew's on there. But the thing that I think people are going, and this is going to be more of a MAGA thing than anybody else. The problem is once you release those names on that list, they're all going to want these people arrested.
No, you can't arrest them without
And
proof.
you can't arrest former presidents, current presidents. You're not going to arrest Oprah.
No, wait.
You're not going to arrest these people.
Yeah, but James, just because they are accusing them, they're accusing them. That doesn't mean it's true.
Well,
No, we have gone over this idea that a woman's accusation is fact. It's not fact. In many cases, they were liars and they really destroyed the lives of some good men. No, it will not work. They have to be proven to be guilty. You can't do that. Just because I can accuse you of homosexuality and perversion. Well, homosexuality is all right, but perversion is not allowed.
Yes.
So what does that mean? They arrest me because I said so? No. It's got to be proven. They've got to have some kind of proof. I'm not worried about it, honestly. I'll tell you what's happening though. The Houthis of Yemen lobbed within
Well,
20.
that's something else I wanted to talk
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Go ahead, baby. Go ahead.
They lobbed 3 missiles at Israel. Now, one of the missiles, which is an intercontinental ballistic missile, carried the internationally disallowed fragmentation bombs,
Yeah.
which are literally to kill civilians. Now, they already had 8 of their top leaders exterminated by Israel in one go.
Yeah.
The Israelis have the reach, they have the capacity, they have the ability to eliminate every Houthi in Yemen. They can do that. I'm talking about physically. And the Defense Department in Israel just told them, we shall bring the 10 plagues upon you. Which 10 plagues? The biblical 10 plagues. And they will do that. But it's amazing the ability of those bastards to commit mass murder and claim they are the victims. They claim they are the victims. But the Americans also are helping. And Saudis are also helping because the ballistic missiles have to cross across Saudi airspace. And many of them fell on Saudi soil or they disintegrated in air over Saudi territory. So Israel is not alone in the war. She will have the help of the Saudis. Even the Jordanians are also counterattacking. So we'll see. But I'm just telling you, Yemen is going to be turned into a desert bigger than it was before.
So, what do you think of the fact that Israel started out as they were defending themselves, and now all of a sudden it just looks like anytime that they want to go do something, they go do it and they go, oh, self-defense.
Well, look, you tell me.
Because like with the Houthi thing, where
Well,
they
the
went
Houthis,
and they bombed
wait,
the
wait, wait,
piss
wait.
out of these
Yeah, but the
guys.
Houthis were the ones who started it. I don't get your point, honestly. On the 8th day of the war of the 7th of October, the Houthis started attacking Israel. The Houthis started it. Israel is surrounded by 5, 6, 7 nations that they want to destroy her. Okay? They have the Hezbollah in Lebanon. They had the Iranians in Iraq and in Syria and in Hamas in Gaza.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the Houthis joined. Why? Because they're supported by the Iranians also. When you start a war, you have to accept finality. And Israel will give them finality, I promise you. It's not because they want to. They're, they are they have 300 to 400,000 soldiers in arms fighting. It's not a joke. You know, by the way, when you speak about Israeli soldiers, each Israeli soldier, the equivalent in America is 42. So if you have 100,000 soldiers in Israel, multiplied by 42, you got 4 million American soldiers fighting. It's not, that's 10 times more than the ones who fought in Vietnam. You can't just speak about numbers. You got to evaluate them with a relationship of numbers of population, size of territory, and everything else. Israel is tiny. What, 8,000 square miles? It's nothing. And 450 million people around her, they want her dead. And you are saying they are attacking. They are, of course, they're self-defense. You know what's happening now in America? Trump is changing the Defense Department to the War Department. Did you know that?
Really?
You mean you didn't know?
No. Give us the details on all this.
Trump does not like something effeminate. Defense is effeminate. I'm defending myself. No, I'm not defending myself. I am the War Department. By the way, it used to be the War Department before it became a Defense Department.
Yeah.
It was the War Department. So now he's changing it to War Department. Yeah. And Hesketh is on, and all of them are on it, accepting it. Of course they would. If Trump wants it, they do it. I'm surprised you didn't know, honestly.
So what do you make of that? Why is that a good thing or a bad thing, IQ?
Well, it's not a matter of good thing or bad thing. It's a state of mind. He wants to show the world that we are here not to defend ourselves. You touch us, we cut your arm. That's it, simple. Look what he's doing with the cartel. And the Democrats going crazy. They specifically destroyed a speeding boat carrying narcotics. All 11 people on it were incinerated. They didn't just die, they were burnt to death. And what the Democrats? The Democrats support the narcotics people against Trump and America. So tell me, who is insane and who is sane? I mean,
See, this is
so
the thing that I wondered with the Venezuela thing. I'm like, why in the world would, because I just see that going in a bad direction.
why?
I
If Venezuela is supplying the narcotics to the cartel, and the cartel are bringing it to the Americans or to the United States of America, where is the difficulty? Where is the moral difficulty that you find? I don't find any moral difficulty. For him, it is better than starting a war with Venezuela. His interest, he is catching them while they are coming on the high seas in international waters. What's got to do with anybody? He's not attacking Venezuela. It's not a Venezuelan military ship. These are cartel. By the way, they will be using from now on, or soon enough, submarines. I'm not kidding with you. They have the money to buy submarines. We're not discussing nuclear submarines. Small submarines, which can travel a few hundred miles and land and dispose of the narcotics. They will do that. Because they can't do it on the surface ships, they do it in submarines. But the Americans can do also that with submarines also. They can sink them in the submarine warfare. So, it escalates. There's no question about it. But all he's doing, he's protecting Americans. He always said that. America first, America first, Americans first. And the beauty of it is, sorry,
No, you're good. You're good. So IQ, another thing that is going on is these Trump tariffs. What do you think of all this stuff?
honestly, if you give it time, America will make billions out of it. He's balancing the budget. Why is everybody against him? He's balancing the budget. Fuel prices are lower. Egg prices are lower. Food prices are good. They haven't inflated. They were inflating at 1 to 2% under Biden. 1 to 2%. And nobody complained.
They've always got to complain though about anything Trump does, because by
But
God,
that's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's all they have. They've got nothing else. They can't offer the American people anything because they have an empty head, oh, which is full only of Trump. Literally, Trump occupies
yeah,
99.9.
baby.
Yeah, Trump occupies 99% of the brains of all the Democrats.
That seems to be what they're so focused on him.
And
They're
he's,
just so
yeah,
focused.
correct, but he's cornering them every single time, and they're falling for it every single time. So he slaughters the he slaughters the cartel. He forces them to defend the cartel. He gets rid of the illegals. They go and support the illegals, and they want to win in 2026. That will be remarkable. I promise.
Amazing. So IQ al-Rassooli, let's talk about some of the different things you've been up to. You have been writing some incredible articles. Let's talk about these articles and where people can find these.
Well, every article I send is to yourself
Yep.
and to America Out Loud. Anybody who wants to listen to them, click Google America Out Loud Home, HOME, and when you get there, you search for al-Rassooli, you will find maybe 1,000 to 2,000 articles. Without exaggeration, at least 1,000 articles.
Yeah, you've
By the
got
way, but these articles are about everything. It's not about only Islam. It's to do with the Middle East, to do with Ukraine, to do with China, to do with Russia, to do with every subject you can possibly think of. And most of it in support of MAGA, in support of Trump, in support of the United States of America. I believe in American exceptionalism, and I'm a foreigner. I mean, my background, I come from Iraq, I'm from the Middle East. But I find when Trump came down the escalator in 2015, I fell in love with him that moment. When he said, this is what we should do, this is what we should do, this is what we should do. And every single item he said he should do resonated with myself. And that was it. Look, I don't give a damn how he behaves. I don't give a damn how he talks. Does he deliver? The answer
I
is yes.
don't give a damn how he talks. I don't give
No,
a
I
damn
don't
how
give
he
a,
looks.
honestly, I don't care. Does he deliver? That's the bottom line. 99.9% of politicians tell you they will do X, Y, Z, and they never do it. But Trump is not a politician, and this is where everybody misses the point. Trump is a businessman. He deals with America as a business, not as a political entity. Politics comes into it, of course, but it's business, it's financial. So he looks at it from the financial point of view. But they're forcing him to be a politician, and he's beating them at their own games, literally beating the crap out of them. Yeah.
So we have IQ Al Rassooli with us today here on our big program at 27 minutes past the hour. And
Don is not there. Don is not there. I can't believe it.
yeah, I don't know. I'm not seeing. I am looking at the old email, and maybe we'll get Don on next week. So you wrote an article that is up at americaoutloud.news. And it's about when the Democrats opened Pandora's box.
Yeah.
Uh, Talk to us a little bit about this article and why you decided to write it and everything else.
Well, every time, as I said, every time Trump does something good, they reflexively, well, the word is reflexively, go against him. So when they go against him, they're opening Pandora's box. For example, if he's securing the border, what do? They say, no, we want the border open. So what happens is, because he wants to secure the border, they reflexively want to have the border open, knowing full well is not what the American people want, but they do it anyway. He wants to arrest criminals. What do? They say, no, it's illegal. Why is it illegal? People who come to the United States of America across the border are illegal. The word is illegal, but they don't want to understand the meaning of it. They call it undocumented. What bullcrap does that mean? What does what does it mean, undocumented? They are illegal. You want to change the words and the meaning? No, that won't work. So they go. So they open another Pandora's box by supporting the criminals. He says men should not be competing against women in sport just because they said we are in the body of a man. He's right, 100%. It's not fair. So what do? They open another Pandora's box. No, it's illegal. No, it's not illegal. It's 100% legal and moral and fair. But they go against him. Say, open another Pandora. So every time they go against him, they're opening their own Pandora's box. And in the end, they will be consumed by Pandora's box. This is, it's insane. The definition of insanity is to repeat the same failed experiment again and again and again, expecting a different result. That's insanity. But they do it. And they're happy. They're proud they're doing it. They're proud. Take all those trans and everybody else. They pushed it too far. Americans accepted homosexuals, which is fair enough. There's nothing wrong with them. They're homosexual. This is the way they want to live together. Good luck to them. But they pushed it and pushed it. They wanted to make ordinary human beings, normal people, accept it as a fact of life. It isn't a fact of life. It's not the normal thing. It's not the biological thing. Homosexuality is not the biological existence. It happens, okay. So we tolerate them, which is fair enough. They should be tolerated, but they shouldn't impose it and try to make an issue out of it again and again and again. And that's where they fail. Funnily enough, Trump has many of the top people in his administration homosexuals. Did you know that?
No, I actually did
I
not.
don't believe it. I don't believe that, honestly. If you Google homosexuals in Trump, you'll find 7 of the top ones. 7, 8, maybe 9. Top level. But not Hezlet and not Rubio. But many of the others are all homosexuals. Check it. You'll be shocked.
So something else that and we don't really we always have IQ on and talk about different things, but we don't really ever talk about your books. So let's talk to IQ today. He, of course, is the author of Lifting the Veil, The True Faces of Muhammad and Islam. It is a trilogy available on Amazon. So, IQ, what inspired you to basically embark on this extensive research on
Okay.
Islam and doing these books, my
Yeah.
guy?
In the Middle East, I was studying at school and college, and they teach you Quran. It's part of the curriculum.
Yeah.
Not necessarily to indoctrinate you in Islam, but to give you a background. And I had friends who are Christians and Muslims, and they have the Bible. At least the Jews, they had their Bible, the Hebrew Bible, and the Christians had the New Testament. And some of them were telling me, but this is wrong, and this is wrong, and this is wrong. And I was saying, hey, but the
Yeah.
Quran says it's right. But I had no time, and in fact, I didn't have access to all the information when I was in Middle East. But when I came to Europe and had libraries, I had access to every piece of information I wanted. So what I started to do is I started not only studying the Quran, first reading it and taking notes, and especially I took notes of the items that the Quran says it's in the Bible. I went to the Bible, it wasn't there. It was wrong. It wasn't one item. 20, 30, 40 items it was totally wrong. So I started thinking, what's going on? How could Allah, if Allah is the same as the God of the Bible, the same as the God of Abraham, Moses, and Jesus, give a complete different version to Muhammad? It's a simple question. And the answer, it's impossible. The answer was impossible. God couldn't give two different contradictory items of an event. The definition of God is infallible. So how could you do that? Anyway, so I started studying. I studied the Quran. I studied the Hadith. I studied the Bible. I studied the New Testament. I literally studied. I took notes. I spent years doing it. This has been going on for 30 to 40 years now. So I wanted to publish my books in Europe. Nobody wants to publish them. Nobody. I want to publish them in America. Nobody wants to publish them. I had to spend money to publish them. I had to spend money to have them published, by the way. No publisher would take it. Too controversial. Now, the books are written in such a way to explain almost every facet of Islam. One article says that Muhammad was a coward. That's the title. I had to prove it, and I did. How did I prove it? On the stories as given to us in the traditions of the Islam, as it's written to us in the history of the Arabs, and as what the Quran says. I proved it beyond a shadow of a doubt that he was a coward. 100%. Take any other example. They say Allah is the same as the God of the Bible. One of the articles I have, I prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that Allah cannot possibly be the same as the God of the Bible. Based on what? On two verses in the Quran, by the way. And I tell you which two verses. One verse, Allah says He revealed the Torah. Torah means the 5 books of Moses, Pentateuch. Allah in Arabic says He revealed the 5 books to Moses. Allah in Arabic says He revealed the Gospels to Jesus. Are you with me?
Yes.
That's very important. You have to be with me. Did you know it is impossible that anybody ever revealed anything to Jesus? The Gospels were written after Jesus was dead. So how could He have revealed it to Jesus? I want to know. It's so simple. It's unbelievable. It is inconceivable that Allah is telling the truth if He is the same as the God of the Bible. Inconceivable. But He's not the same as the God. By the way, the most important thing I proved is that every single letter, every single word, every single verse, ayah, and every single chapter in the Quran, surah, was never revealed to Muhammad by a God called Allah or an entity called Jibril. Why? Because each one of them are the result of Muhammad's imagination, the secretions of his warped mind, but very cleverly projected into the unsuspecting mouths of Allah and Jibril to give them the aura of authenticity and divinity. How can you beat that? Impossible. Nobody can beat that. Do,
So
do I do I make sense to you? I don't know.
yes, yes. So
I mean, if Allah says He revealed the Gospels to Jesus, it should be mind blowing to anybody who is a Christian.
so we have got IQ with us today, and of course, IQ is written a trilogy called "Lifting the Veil: The True Faces of Muhammad and Islam." And he joins us this week here on our program, and we were talking a little bit about his books with him here in the last part of our show. So
I'll,
you,
I'll
of
tell you what.
course,
I'll tell you
you,
what I would like on your
yes,
show now. I
go
would
ahead,
like
Becky,
people
go
who are
ahead.
listening. I would like people who are listening who want to know more or who disagree with me to email me al-Rassooli@gmail.com. Simple. Email me. I will answer every single email as I always do. But don't threaten me, please,
No,
because it won't get you anywhere.
so IQ, you of course always tell us that you grew up in Iraq. Um, so with that upbringing and your experiences in Europe shape your approach to studying the whole Islam texts and history. Talk to us a little bit about this.
Okay. The most remarkable thing about Islamic history is that before Muhammad, the Arab tribes were more honorable people, more decent people, more compassionate and welcoming people than they became after Muhammad. This was the most remarkable thing. For example, when he wanted somebody murdered, he asked some of his followers to murder them. The hadith says, the tradition says, not me. They asked Muhammad, but we have to betray them. We have to betray the person we're going to murder. We have to lie to them. He said, go ahead, lie and murder them. Are you with me?
Yes.
They didn't lie. The concept of lying was not acceptable. Then Muhammad says in his Quran, men are the protectors of women. He is that piece of garbage who, for 20 years, over 20 years, his wife was keeping him. He never worked in his life. He never worked to earn a living in his life. She was keeping him alive financially. And yet he had the audacity. And he had the audacity only after she died, by the way. This revelation appeared only in the Medina period, not the Mecca period. By the way, something else very important. The Quran was revealed to Muhammad. He said it was revealed to him. As I said, it's bullcrap. In two periods of time. In the 10 years, 13 years he was in Mecca, and then 10 years he was in Medina. In the 13 years he was in Mecca, the verses were conciliatory. He was approaching the Jews, he was approaching the Christians, he was complimentary to both sides, and he was talking about mercy and everything else. But when he went to Medina, he ran away to Medina because the Meccan period people did not want him anymore. They knew he was a charlatan. He went to Medina and he was supported by a tribe. He became the leader of the first organized crime syndicate in human history. Yeah.
Wow, really?
El capo di tutti capi, he became. He used Medina as the central place to attack the Quraysh tribes, to plunder caravans, to take women and children as slaves and murder the men. For 10 years he did that. He initiated at least 70 actions of war against other Arabs. So when people speak about Muhammad and peace and peaceful, okay, another one. They tell you that Islam means peace. Islam doesn't mean peace. Islam is rooted in Aslama. Aslama means to submit. Peace is salam. It's not the same. So they deceive people who don't speak Arabic. They deceive people who don't learn the background of the history of the Arabs or the language of the Arabs. And they get away with it. Why do they get away with it? Because the news media in the West collude with them. The worst enemies of Europeans and Americans are the news media. They cover up for the Muslims again and again and again. They do it in America all the time. In Europe, a Muslim commits rape or murder. They don't tell you he's a Muslim. They cover his name. They try not to give you the name, because if it says Muhammad or Ali or Hassan, people will know he's a Muslim. So they hide that. And today, England is the worst of all of the European countries in suppressing freedom of speech. Can you believe that? The country which
Really?
gave the country which gave the world the Magna Carta is a terror state now. Literally. England. Funnily enough, J.D. Vance and Trump already told the Prime Minister of England that you're going down the wrong hole. But he's not listening. Yeah. So people who want to learn about Islam, Google. If you want to ask questions, Google me. Or you want to buy the books, up to you. I never advertise for selling the books. Honestly, you know that. I don't advertise it. They're available if you want them. But if you need quickly, email me. I will never deceive you. I don't have to. Islam self-destructs with their own books. The Quran and the Hadith destroy Islam completely, because there's nothing divine about it. There's nothing divine about Islam. It's a cult belief system, the cult of Muhammad. Funnily enough, as you said, we tried many times to have an Imam to debate me and nobody comes. There must be a reason nobody comes. There must be a reason.
So we've got IQ al-Rassooli with us today. He joins us here on our program, and we're talking a little bit about his books here in the last part of our show today. So talk to us about what the reaction to your books have been, whether it's positive or negative.
Well, I get a lot of emails from Muslims telling me how I'm going to burn in hell, how they're going to kill me. But not a single one of them refuted anything I wrote. Never, not a single one of them refuted anything I wrote. So all these threats are useless. Why not prove me wrong? They can't prove me wrong. And that's why they get frustrated. By the way, the reason Muslims use violence, whether verbal or physical, is because they cannot defend their indefensible position. That's exactly why they do it. They cannot defend their indefensible position. So they use violence, verbal or physical. The greatest threat to humanity today are not nuclear weapons only, Islam. And Islam with nuclear weapons is a greater threat. It's insidious. You have Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, and other Muslims in Congress. Each and every one of them is an avowed traitor, and nobody does anything about it. Nobody does anything about it.
Yep.
Nobody. And yet, if any American had said what Ilhan Omar says about America, they would be terminated in a prison. She tells the Somali people in her community, in the Somali language, that she is in America as a congresswoman to help Somalia, not to help America, to help Somalia.
So, how exactly would somebody go about voting her out of there since she is so stuck in there now?
She's not stuck. All anybody has to do, the DOJ, it says, you are wearing hijab. She wears the hijab all the time. So you are Sharia compliant. Since you are Sharia compliant, you cannot possibly be loyal citizen in America. You can't. The Quran forbids it. It's that simple. It's not complicated. The Quran forbids any Muslim from ever integrating, assimilating, or being loyal citizen among kuffar. And who's kuffar? Non-Muslims. Whether they're Christians, whether Buddhists, Hindus, or Jews. They're kuffar. So we have 20% of humanity. Muslims are the eternal and mortal enemies of 80% of humanity who are not Muslims. And nobody says anything in Congress. Nobody says anything in politics. Nobody says anything in the media, and nobody says anything among all the religious people, religious leaders in America or Europe. Not a word, not a whimper. The most persecuted people on the planet today are Christians in Muslim countries. Did you hear that?
Yep.
Over 70,000 Christians have been murdered in Nigeria alone since the year 2000. That's murdered, by the way. Not the enslaved and the raped and dispossessed. We're talking about hundreds of thousands. And not a whimper or pipsqueak from anybody. The criminals are also your media. I've always said, I wish somebody would go, let's say, in CNN or NSBC with a machine gun and kill all the ones who are on the top echelon. Slaughter them. They don't deserve to live.
So why is that? Give
Why
us
is that?
give us that.
Why I should have them killed, or why they
Yes.
are?
Yes.
Because
Because
think
there's going to
about
be
it.
a lot of people asking. So
Well,
I
simple,
want
simple.
you
It's
to.
simple. It's simple. These people are in misguiding, misleading, and deceiving 327 million Americans, 24/7, 365. For what? 60 years. This is an act of treason of magnitudes that are mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. They don't deserve to live. When you deceive 300 million plus people on a regular basis, you twist the truth, you contort it to fit your own agenda. That's treason. And act of treason must be done through a legal system by extermination or execution. That's the penalty. In every country on earth, treason, the penalty is death, except America and Europe. Because you pretend to be more compassionate. You're not compassionate, you're stupid.
So we have got IQ al-Rassooli with us today, and IQ is talking a little bit about his books. He's also talking about some of the different things that are going on in the news with us today.
Oh, another
Um,
thing happening. I've got
yes.
to interrupt you. You know, this, what's her name? Greta Thunberg?
Oh
She,
yes,
she's leading, she's
she is
leading,
famous for what one of my favorite videos is she goes, "How dare you?"
yeah, yeah.
Yes, her.
She's leading a flotilla, another one, of 70 ships to break the blockade of Gaza. Yeah. She failed the first time. Now she has a bigger one, and she will fail again. Because there is no way on earth the Israelis will allow a single ship to go through. By the way, there isn't even a port in Gaza to accommodate that number of ships. So the whole start is it's a propaganda. It's all for propaganda. All for propaganda. But it's very interesting. I thought she will die after the first time, but she didn't die. She is now, and the people should find out, a government should find out who is subsidizing the money for this, who is financing it. And when you find out who is financing, you know exactly what the agenda is. But somebody's got to do that. I don't know. To have 70 ships, you need to spend a lot of money, a lot of money
Yep.
to hire the people, to rent the ships, to accommodate them, to feed them, to clothe them, and to put whatever it is. That's millions of dollars, millions of dollars. But somebody is doing it. So she's going again.
Yeah, I've always wondered where a lot of her cash comes from.
Yeah. Look, she's a stool pigeon. She is a stupid little girl who is being
She's
used.
a stupid little
Well,
girl.
she is a stupid little girl. I'll tell you what. Ask her, what does Hamas stand for? The acronym Hamas stands for. She doesn't know. Ask her where to
That is
find the word.
amazing.
No, she wouldn't know. She's an incompetent girl. She's nothing. She's being used by the Muslims. She's used by Hamas, and she's used by the leftists. And she's excellent fodder for them. Excellent fodder. If she gets into if if the Israelis kill her or harm her, they are more than happy because it's a propaganda for them. That's what they're doing it. Ask her where to find the word Palestine in history or Palestinians in history. She won't be able to do that. And yet she's supporting them. You know, it's ask simple questions, not complicated. It's not mathematics. It's simple arithmetic. You're supporting Hamas. What is the charter of Hamas? Simple question. You know, I was talking to some Israelis and they were shouting and discussing the Palestinians speak about from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. So I told them, why are you so stupid? You could reverse it. You could say from the river to sea, Israel will be free. And you got it balanced.
So we've got IQ al-Rassooli with us today. So as we wrap up here with you and talking with you about your books, what do you have plans for future editions or
No,
follow-up works or
no,
doing
I don't, no, no,
anything?
honestly, no future additions because my books cover Islam completely. You want to know anything about Islam, it's covered in there. The only thing I'll do is continue writing articles. And my articles are short, maximum maybe 3-4 minutes reading, some of them 2 minutes reading. And they are to the point and they are current affair. Almost every single article is current affair. So, and I send them to you and you publish them. So people, if they want to read them, they are on your website. So it's not a problem. The most important thing is nobody will find fault with what I say. Not a single human being. For one reason only. I back it up. I back everything with references. And that's important. Also, if you remember, I have $200,000 challenges and nobody has taken any of them.
Well, IQ, as we wrap up here with you, my friend, how do we get in touch with you online and all the various places for
All I want anybody to do is email me, al-Rassooli@gmail.com. By the way, the signs on your shirt, what are they?
It is a band. They are called Room 347.
307?
Yes, and I believe that the deal are the faces of the band.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it's a It's
It's
a
unusual, unusual.
yes. It is unusual. I
But
was gonna
but I
change,
love
but
it.
then I
But
thought, you know, we'll leave the
I-
band shirt on. That's what we'll do.
yeah, but I love the background.
Well, IQ, I really appreciate you making time for us
Thank
today,
you.
and
Thank you.
hopefully
God bless
Don
you.
will be with us next week. And
Right. I will see you on Tuesday.
I will see you Tuesday, my friend. Have
Take
yourself a
care.
wonderful, wonderful day.
Thank you. Same to you.